Welcome to the Contrarian Capitalist channel. Welcome to Energy. We're going to be looking at some stories from around the world and stories that are going to impact everything that's going on at the moment. Now, it's fair to say you're listening to this and you are relatively well up to date with what's going on anyway, but you want a bit more meat on the bones. I'm going to try my best to provide that, and that's what I'm here to do, provide that contrarian view, because at the end of the day, we're in the minority and we need to make our voices heard even more. We need to sort of get other people to understand what the hell is going on. And again, a lot of stuff going on, oil, gas, the usual bits and bobs. But a couple of stories that caught my eye recently. Number one, Japan going through a bit of a heat wave at the moment, but their energy, the Japanese national grid, as I'm going to call it, a very, very high usage, 97%, the article said. That is very, very, very high. Now, I appreciate that Japan doesn't necessarily, have wonderful oil reserves or anything like that, and it's had issues with nuclear plants over the years. But that reliability and dependability on renewables, electricity, etc. A lot of Japanese people are being asked to be careful with your electric use, be careful with this. Actually, maybe you want to switch things off a bit more. Okay, there's two advantages to that. Number one, actually, it probably saves, in Japan, it will save you a few yen, I imagine. That's good. But it's almost like we're being preconditioned, aren't we? It's like we're being preconditioned to always going to be blackouts, be careful. That maybe the world can't go on or anything like that. That's the thing I'm struggling to get my head around. It's almost like this preconditioning, because we seem to be in this stage where all of a sudden oil's bad, gas is bad, let's ban all this stuff, let's go to electric. Oh no, we haven't got the infrastructure. Let's complain that all the prices are going up. It's almost like a lose-lose situation. But that was a story that caught my attention. South Africa, I think, as well, have suffering from various blackouts at the moment. Again, very similar. Electric grid, the South African national grid, having issues meeting demand. Again, not surprised about that. You're trying to take away oil and gas and then replace that immediately with electricity, solar, etc. But ultimately, you haven't increased the infrastructure there. These things take time. I've said this before in videos, and I'll say that again, that if you are looking to bring on new like coal mines, silver mines, gold mines, whatever it might be, these things don't just happen at the click of your finger. These things take time, normally because politics involved, a bit of bureaucracy. You could be talking years before serious infrastructure is improved as well. It's, again, I'm just going to say mind-boggling for the want of keeping it YouTube friendly. It's mind-boggling. Other articles, I like having a good through Zero Hedge. The pop-up's not so good, but Zero Hedge is always a decent source of information. The Exxon CEO warns that consumers will pay for hasty energy transition. Quoted saying, I'll read what I've got here. People will pay a high price in this rush to renewables without providing the energy the society currently needs. Yeah, absolutely. 100%. That makes perfect sense. Again, it's just what we've just said, that we have this situation at the moment where, especially in the US, Biden's, getting rid of those oil reserves. That's not good. In the UK, I think we're farming oil out to the EU, right? Why don't we just keep it for ourselves? That sounds like a bit of a no-brainer there. And again, we've got, the politicians want to be seen to be doing something good, and we've committed to, all this climate change activity, and we've got to be running on renewables, etc., etc. But the same people then aren't paying enough attention to the damn infrastructure that's going to hold it in the first place. Most of the world runs on oil and gas. People, wake up! It's around to stay. It's not going to go anywhere anytime soon. Banning it's going to increase prices. It's going to restrict supply, and there's not a suitable alternative there. You could say nuclear. I like nuclear. I've got friends that work in the nuclear industry. I'm an advocate of nuclear. If you say that to the climate change people and the crazies on the left, and it's outrage, it's uproar. Oh, you can't have nuclear. Bad. Oh, it's disastrous. Yeah, okay, when nuclear goes wrong, it goes wrong. I get that. I'm sure that, that's a risk that many people will be willing to take. But if it keeps the lights on, as Rick Rule says, yeah, then it keeps the lights on. But people aren't thinking about this. People are, they're looking, politicians are looking for the votes, looking for the easy wins. And then you get everyone, that's suffering around it, higher oil prices, higher gas prices, higher electric prices. And this, again, profanity nearly cut out of mouth. This is going to continue. This isn't, it's going to continue for a while. It's going to be like the 1970s all over again. And again, that's dangerous for you. It's dangerous for me. Thankfully, if you listen to this, you probably invest in various asset classes as well. So as much as we can look at this as doom and gloom, there's always going to be a lot of opportunity out there. And that's the capitalist way of thinking. We've got to always look at these things as opportunities. But the Exxon chief, the Exxon chief's coming at he's saying the same thing. And we're all thinking, well, it's okay saying you want to get rid of oil and gas. Okay. Then what are we doing about the infrastructure? How are we going to provide all this electricity? How are we going to provide, all this solar equipment? How are we going to provide, this nuclear stuff? What's going on here? How do we do that? I think the consensus from people is that, it's okay in the very long run. It's okay saying, actually, well, let's have this in place. That's fine. But we're rushing into it. You're getting rid of plan A without having plan B in place. That makes no sense. Again, it's a classic, we're shooting ourselves in the foot. Absolutely, we're shooting ourselves in the foot, and they're starting to precondition us. I probably blame the World Economic Forum for this. Good old Klaus Schwab. What an absolute muppet, they are at the World Economic Forum. A big bunch of muppets, biggest muppets meeting you could probably have year by year. But people have got, we've got to look through these things. And again, chiefs of big organizations saying the same things. It is crazy stuff out there. It really is. And here in the UK, if you're in tune with this cost of living crisis that we have, again, that's not going to get any better anytime soon. Why? Our government's not better. Banning Russian products from hitting our markets, or sorry, I'll rephrase that: Russian commodities from hitting our markets. For years and years and years, we've been screwed by gas and electric companies anyway. Don't trust them as far as I could throw them, to be perfectly honest. But the key point of this is it's not just here in the UK, it's not just in the US, where they seem to be run by an absolute left-wing crazy, absolute muppet there as well. In places like South Africa suffering blackouts, places like Japan as well, that are being, indoctrined as such to, preconditioned to cut down your energy use, cut down this, cut down, let's all help the world, yada, yada, yada. It's not good. Let's see it for what it is. We're being energy conditioned at the moment. And on top of that, as we're being energy conditioned, we're also paying through the roof for the same things anyway. So it's just, every way you look at the moment, for the regular Joe, it's just loss. And the only bright side, no pun intended, I'll give on all of that, is that at the end of the day, there's always going to be opportunity. And whether that's through purchasing metals and seeing what's happening with currency supplies at the moment, or if you want to invest in your own electric grid, that sort of stuff, become self-sustainable, get some land running, water, solar, whatever it is that it might be. If you want to become self-sustainable, you can. Fantastic. If you listen to this and you already are self-sustainable, then absolutely wonderful as well. But I say a lot of stuff going on around the world, a lot of preconditioning taking place with energy, and again, a lot of people from massive companies saying that this really isn't going to work. And why? Because when you're trying to play around with the supply of commodities, yes, you can do that, but it doesn't happen overnight. These things take time, and no one, certainly no one in the West, seems to have this idea. It seems that Russia and China, they're always playing chess. They're playing the long game. I don't agree with their ideologies, but they're playing the long game. Everyone else is playing drafts or checkers, as you might know it. So, hey, I won't put as much doom and gloom into the next episode, but we've got to be as contrarian as we can. As always, subscribe to the channel, tell other people about the channel as well. We've got to spread this word out as much as we can. and really build that community and have that team effort to get more people listening. So thank you in advance for doing that, and see you in the next video.